the Agile Project Management Framework. Hey, this is Harry and welcome to this episode of The Harry Show. Today I'm going to talk about the Agile Project Management Framework. Now, if you've not watched my previous video on what Agile is, why it's required, what business agility is, then you need to watch that video first for it to make more sense to you. I'm going to drop that link in the description, so please check it out first. So what is the Agile Project Management Framework? Now, Agile is a methodology which mandates and supports business agility through a number of different practices, mindset, core values, team structures, and so on. What we're going to discuss right now is how does the project management side of Agile actually work? So let's dive in. It all starts with what is called a vision. And a vision for a project or product is essentially the problem or the opportunity that this specific project seeks to address. So we want to be clear on the problem or the opportunity, because every project on the planet starts for one of these two reasons. It starts to address a problem. For example, our customers are not very satisfied, our revenues are decreasing, our brand loyalty is decreasing, our profit margins are shrinking, we have a high attrition rate, right? So a problem, what is an opportunity? Now, a problem could be phrased as an opportunity, but essentially speaking, opportunity is when things are going okay, but there's opportunity to do even more. For example, launching a new product line, opening into a new market, and so on. So vision addresses that problem or that opportunity. So it's a future state description of what is it that we're going for, which addresses this problem or an opportunity. That vision is translated into what is called a roadmap. Now, roadmap is not a plan. Roadmap is a high-level description of or depiction of what is going to be done around what time. So approximately how long it's going to take. It's not a commitment, but it's a high-level roadmap, as opposed to a detailed project plan, which traditional project management leads to at this point. So roadmap just lays out a high-level description on what is going to be done in what quarter or in what part of the year. So it's relatively high level, it's open to change, but you got to start somewhere, right? So vision translates into roadmap, which then translates into what is called the product backlog. So this is where essentially teams start to get involved. This is mostly leadership. So leaders do these first two things, and this is where teams start to get involved. So product backlog. What is a product backlog? It is a list of requirements, a list of things that need to be completed for this vision to turn into reality. This includes gathering requirements from customers, understanding the market, understanding the business scenario, understanding the future. So there's some prediction there. There's a lot of understanding. There's Gemba walks, which essentially means spending time where the customers are using the product, where the customers are dealing with the pain, the problem, right? So all of that goes into the product backlog, and it's typically prioritized, which means that the ones that are the parts of the final product that are most important are at the top, and they gradually scale down. Once you have a product backlog, that leads to what is called a sprint backlog or an iteration backlog. It's the same thing. Depending on what type of language, what type of framework teams are following, they might use either term. A sprint or an iteration backlog is essentially a part of those requirements that are supposed to be completed in the next sprint or iteration. How long is a sprint or an iteration? 2 to 4 weeks. So essentially 2 to 4 weeks. So a portion of the product backlog that gets selected to be worked on in the next 2 to 4 weeks. What happens after that is the sprint or the iteration. Again, I'm using both of these terms because depending on what team you're in, what type of language you're using, you might be using either of these terms, but they mean the same thing, right? So sprint is executed, which means 2 to 4 weeks worth of work is done. What is the goal at the end of the sprint? Is to come up with a potentially shippable product. Now, what is a potentially shippable product? A potentially shippable product is something that has value to the customer. Now, this is critical. It should be incremental. So what that means is you don't want to showcase a plan to a customer. You want to showcase a part of a working product. So if I was to take the metaphor of a car, if you're designing a car as your project vision, a potentially shippable product could be a seat of a car. You could build that as a part of your sprint in 2 to 4 weeks. The designing of the seat, the mechanism, maybe they're massaging seats. And once you have that potentially shippable product, you can get feedback from the customer. So that's the critical part, that it should trigger feedback. Because this is what enables you to be agile. Once you get the feedback, it would either get approved or your users, your customers would request for more changes. If more changes are requested, those changes go in the product backlog. And they're taken on based on their level of priority. So once this is done, the potentially shippable product has been created, it's demoed to the customer so that you can get feedback, and that brings you back to this point where the teams work on the creation of the next sprint backlog. In between these points, there is what is called a retrospective, which is a stop and reflect event a team organizes to see what worked, what did not work during that specific sprint, so that they can improve on a consistent basis. And while the teams are working on the sprint or the iteration, they have a daily stand-up. A daily stand-up is something that is specific to this framework. Teams get together face to face, ideally for 15 minutes, and everybody answers 3 questions. What did we do? What are you going to do today? What did you work on yesterday? And any challenges or impediments that you are facing. So this creates ongoing accountability and engagement in the team, that builds ownership, that creates high level of performance. Therefore, teams are able to deliver at a much higher rate than traditional teams. There are multiple other elements of Agile project management, for example, the mindsets, the team structures, the overall governing principles, and so on, which I'll be going into deeper in some of my next videos. You can check our channel for more detailed videos on agility, on lean, on overall business performance improvement that can transform the game for your business. But my goal for this specific video was to lay out the framework because I see a lot of people that have very little understanding on what it is and what it can do for the business. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment below, let me know how it's working out for you, if you have any experience with Agile Project Management, or if your team is starting to consider this. If you have any questions, if you have concerns around how you should go about it, let me know. I'd love to respond to your comments. I read every single comment on my videos. For now, this is Harry signing off. Agile Project Management Framework. I hope it was helpful. I'll see you in the next video. What did you learn from this video? Comment below and let me know. I read every single comment on my videos. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. We already have a lot of videos on our channel. Check the playlist on marketing, sales, communication, leadership, influence, persuasion, all of these skills that'll help you transform the game and raise your career to the next level.